Uh, the mo maybe w one or two from each group. Yeah. Who has the microphone? Yeah. Okay. Who wants to start? It's over there on your side, so you guys start.
Yes, well, I just,
Hold it right up now. So can
I
you
just,
hear Eileen?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm trying hard. Yes.
Okay.
I just said we had been on holiday and we'd been in South Africa and we had gone on a safari and it was the last safari and had a stop for a break and instead, so we weren't looking for any animals or anything like that, and it was just the vastness of the landscape and basically drinking it all in and saying, this is absolutely wonderful to get to experience all of this. And that was the moment
Mm,
during the week.
yeah.
And then I had been speaking to my niece during the week, and at the end of it, she says to me, "And are you sure everything's okay?" And that came back into my head this morning, and I thought, wasn't that just so nice of her saying that? And so that was the second moment.
And what was it about that moment? Her
It was
care?
my niece, just because she was so kind of um, interested to ensure that everything was fine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Her
and I
care.
thought it was just lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. As I was saying to Anne earlier, yesterday I had remembered three different moments, but today I can only remember two.
Mm. Hmm.
However, two moments that I had. One was Friday after this class. I have started back playing tennis again, and we're playing tennis, and I just hit this magical shot that I knew was really good, and the coach said, "Well done, Leonie," or "Good shot, Leonie," shouted, or whatever. But it was just the moment was the touching of the ball, and I knew
Hmm.
where it was going, and that was a
Okay.
good shot.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was really, really good.
Hmm.
Um, and probably I've had good shots in the past. I probably would have gone on and not really thought about it, but I thought more about it and pleased about it. And
Hmm.
it also made me then start to think about how I am improving
Hmm.
since my um, huge surgery.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then the other moment was I came to the restorative yoga with Nicole on Saturday, and we were all tucked up and doing the, what is it? No, Shavasana, the
Hmm.
relaxation, and we were all tucked up in blankets, etc. And Nicole had been attending to us for several hours, but she came around, and with me, she just tucked my blanket in, just touched ever so slightly, just touched the blanket in around, tucked me in, and it was just magical, a
Mm.
magical touch, and that was really just a moment.
Mm.
And I've thought about it numerous times since,
Mm.
not trying to relive it, but just that was so lovely that
Mm.
another human being was being so kind to tuck me in, type of thing.
Mm.
So that's me for the moment,
Lovely.
anyway.
So it's interesting. Nature and care. Yeah.
Yeah, I can, sorry, well, like in it, uh, not this week or particularly, but I know what you
Well,
mean about the care. Orla does that at the Shavasana. Very often she put, when get a lot of stress, and very often Orla would put her hand on my head, and it is the kindest action.
mm.
You know, it is so lovely to feel somebody, it's like an angel.
Yes.
Yeah, it's lovely. I know. I don't even want to talk about this week. It's been terrible. If there was one positive out of it, trying to drag something positive out of it, I kept asking myself all week, significant moments, significant moments. There's so much making me angry. But anyway, I was at a meeting on Monday, and I was telling Anne that normally at a meeting, things, if I don't agree, I just I'll go home and tell Larry about it. But I decided on Monday, no, that's out of order. Somebody was complaining about something about the chair and vice chair. And I said, no, you're wrong. So again, there was a continuity of this meeting this morning, and again, I reinforced where this other person was getting it wrong, and she doesn't like me for it now.
Mm.
But normally I would go along with the crowd. So if that's a significant moment, that's a change in me
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
be able to stand up for what I believe is correct
Yeah.
in public,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because I'm shy really, and I don't
Yeah.
like aggro. But
Mm-hmm.
if that was that, does that qualify for a significant moment then this week?
Anything can be a
A
significant.
lot of stuff
Yeah.
would be too personal for me even to talk about this week.
Yeah.
So I'll share that one.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help feeling exactly what you were saying about that touch, as Orla does that in your head, and it's just total
Mm.
magic. You are so caring, Orla.
Well,
Caring.
it's simple, isn't it? Sometimes
yeah.
the simplest things
Yeah.
are significant, you know?
Mhm.
And like you're saying as well, like with the saying no can be a really significant putting a boundary or to stand up,
Yeah.
you know, to make a stand that can, you know,
Mhm.
you're fully in your power, in your authenticity, you know? And that's what, when you really learn to be, when you really do this practice and you learn to be, you realize sometimes saying no is the kindest thing you can do, you know?
Mhm.
It might not be perceived like that by this woman
Mhm.
or the other
Yeah.
person, but you know, if you're standing in your integrity, in your authentic self, you know, I know that that's really hard for me as well. I'm such a people pleaser.
Mm.
It's easier just to go, oh, everything's fine. But sometimes we do need to stand up, make a stand,
Mm.
you know, for what's right. Yeah. Or for what we think's right.
Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong, you know,
Mhm.
but we need to be in our
Mhm.
integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the significant moment.
Anne gets prize of the week for her list.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I was making a very, well, I was in such turmoil about having to return to society after 3.5 weeks in India that I decided I was going to try and focus on the positive, and I put this piece of paper on my bedside table
Mhm.
along it. It's and so as part of my preparation for going to sleep every night, I had a column for moments significant and reflections of learning.
Mm.
And each night I wrote down something that had happened during the day that was a feel good moment
Mm-hmm.
and what I'd learned from it. And I'm not going to go through them all, but when I was looking at it last night, the significant moments were all associated with friendship moments,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
with people moments,
Okay.
and the negativity of some of them came into the learning
Okay.
side.
Mm-hmm.
And my summary of acceptance for significant moments was the contact I have, friendship, well, even contact with human beings, that I'm well enough to be in contacting people, speaking to people, or going out. And I did what you were saying about being in the park, you know, and it's amazing when you smile at people how many smile back,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that friendship and the value of human contact with human nature, if
Yeah.
one has been indoors mostly for the past 10 days because of the weather. And the learning from it was that well, I think from your example, that you have to have the courage to say what's in your heart and your head,
Mm.
but accept that other people mightn't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
So acceptance of what's chucked at you. So it's
Yes.
really like gratitude and acceptance.
Acceptance of what's chucked at you. That's equanimity from the Brahma Viharas, isn't it?
Yes.
Equanimity. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it human nature's such. We have to sometimes agree to disagree. We don't
Yeah.
all have to have the same opinion.
Do you find that doing this practice helps you with equanimity?
Yeah.
You know, it can give you a little bit of distance to be able to make a better choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you stop and think.
Yeah.
Over-analysis isn't a good thing, but there's a happy medium.
Yeah. It gives you a little bit of pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not reacting from an emotional place. Doesn't always happen, you know. I still, you know, when I'm on my bicycle or somebody blows their horn at me, sometimes I just flip the bird at them, do you know? And then I'm annoyed with myself. So I'm like, it didn't work, you know. So sometimes you will go back into old patterns, into old samskaras, you know. But yeah, generally I had a moment when, was it last week we were a yoga class, there was a football match on and there was no parking spaces anywhere. And I had a moment with a man in a house in Adelaide where I parked and the back of my car lined up with his gate post. And so I just parked the car and started walking away. And he was like, "No, no, no, that's obstructing." And I was like, "No, it's not." And he's like, "No, I can't get out. Go on, you know." And he was being a real dick, like, you know. But in the past, I would have taken the head off him. I would have went, you know, and I was like, "Well, what about there?" You know. And I was amazed at myself that I didn't take the head off him because and I wasn't getting really upset by him. I was like, I'll just get back in the car and drive on. So, you know, this is just the circumstance that presents itself to me. But for me, that's where I see the progress, you know. I'm not going to rip the head off him or punch him or something, you know.
Yoga teacher punches.
I know, yeah.
In Adelaide, probably. Yes.
Might happen. You might see it in the news one day. A yoga teacher punches the local resident over
And did
parking
you
space.
find another parking space?
I parked on a double yellow line on Adelaide.
Because I
Yeah.
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got away with it. You didn't
Well,
get
it was after 6, so it was grand, you know.
yeah.
So that was a significant moment for me. Okay. Thank you. So we've had what? Nature, care, connection. What was yours again, Rita? Oh yes, saying no. So standing in your integrity. Standing in your integrity. That's really powerful. Lila?
Well, a lot has been going on with me, but one of the things I didn't discuss with the girls was I was pacing up and down before I came in, thinking, will I come in, will I not?
Mm,
And my phone rang and it was a friend.
mm,
And I'd just been walking aimlessly along the Lisburn Road and thinking about this particular friend, and she
mhm.
used to live near here. And suddenly I seen Moonstone Street and the phone rang and it was Anne.
Oh my
And
God.
she said, "Hello, Lila, where are you?" And I said, "Anne, I'm in Belfast." And she said, "You're going to go to class?" And I said, "I don't know." And Anne has no background in yoga, anything. And she
Yeah.
just said to me, "Live in the moment." She knows what's
Wow.
going on. And she said, "Live in the moment." I just thought the whole thing was so bizarre and so powerful.
Yeah.
You know, she then went on to say, you know, there was things happening with her, and she said, "This is what I'm trying to do." And I said, "Have you ever done any yoga or any, you know, meditation or mindfulness?" "No, but I read a lot." She said, "And I'm just trying to stay in the moment, and that's the best thing for
Yeah.
you in your situation." And I thought, so true.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did come in, and then I had to take that phone call was related to what's going on. So,
Okay. Yeah.
but it was a positive call
Yeah.
from a big brother that's going to teach me a lot of things in the next few weeks.
Okay.
You know, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a little mess. That's a very significant moment. It's a message from the universe, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
it was just so
Must
weird.
be something about that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Mm. But do you find the more that you do this practice that those things pop up for you? You know, sort of
Well,
those
like that, I only have to be thinking about about somebody and as sure as shooting, I get a
Mhm.
phone call from them or a WhatsApp message. It's
Yeah.
like telepathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something.
Yeah. The more you do this practice, the more things flow like that, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know. I don't know. But
Yes.
it's just the more you practice, the more things like that, you know. They're little miracles, maybe you could call them, but yeah. I mean, it does go into it a little bit in the Yoga Sutras. You know, they say if you really practice your ethics, that, you know, you're protected by it, that this practice protects you, you know.
It is.
Eileen or Mary? Oh, sorry.
Would studying the sutras be a project for one to take on board?
Well, we are.
Is that what you're
That's what we're
doing?
doing. Yeah, we're studying the Yoga Sutras, you know. I mean, we could study them even more intensely. That was the reason we keep cycling over things and over things and over things is because they're quite,
Yeah.
you know, they can be a bit intense if we were to go through them sutra by sutra. So we're trying to do it in a nice, easy way, you know, but also to keep repeating it over and over and over again, and then just adding in little bits more. Yeah. Because that's then the samskaras go in. Yeah. And they start to relate to them more deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is one of the main, you know, they talk about that. One of the main reasons we do this work is to undo unhelpful patterns. Yeah. Patterns that emerge from the kleshas. Yeah.
Which are ingrained in us.
Which are
At
ingrained in us. But
my age,
they can become less strong
yeah.
the more we do this practice, and the more that you start writing down you know, your significant moments or things that you're grateful for, the more you will start to live from that place, the more you will start to live creatively. Karma, you will create karma, create samskaras from a place of delight, a place of compassion, right? The more you focus on that, the more from a place of equanimity. Of course, there's going to be impressions, you know, from the past where, you know, occasionally you'll take the head off, or it's me, I'll take the head off somebody or flip the bird. But it's good to recognize those moments when you see progress, when you stand up and you say, no, you know, never used to do it before in the past, but now I'm going to do it. Don't care anymore. Right? Beware. Watch out, world. Rita's got new samskaras. Okay. Eileen and Mary, we haven't heard from either of you. And Mary, if you said you didn't want to share, but you know, if you've changed your mind, please please just unmute yourself. Eileen, go ahead.
Yeah,
Now,
there we are now. Yes,
yeah.
you can hear me. I suppose I picked up just on a joyful moment turning round the corner on the way to buy the newspaper and just seeing the light even on a bare tree and just feeling my heart lift and being aware of that sense. Do you know how it is? And that was the moment. But if I'm not digressing here, it's been important to me all that you're saying about shunyata, because I've always struggled with shunyata. And reading that passage which you read to us, it sort of clicked in place with me with other thinking. And I hope I'm not being sort of, as I say, too digressing here, but just through life, I've come to realize that sometimes you're in a place, for example, you can be lost. And I'm not meaning the sort of lost where you get out a map and find where you are. I mean, internally lost. Come to realize that you need to fully experience that lostness in order to be found.
Mm.
Or if you're confused, to stay confused. Stay
Mm.
with the confusion, and then things become clear. Or to stay with the brokenness you're experiencing within yourself. And by staying with the brokenness in that empty space of the dark place of it has become the seeds of your healing, and your healing follows.
Mm.
That if you try and bypass the one, you're not allowing yourself into the fertile ground which leads to the other. Does all that tie in with what you were saying?
Oh, I love that, Eileen. Thank you so much. I
Well, I
love
feel
it.
like now,
And
Shunyata,
I needed to hear that from you today, actually.
well, it was important learning for me, and
Yeah,
I suppose it's a conclusion I came to when I was doing sort of other work on myself some years ago.
yeah.
But I can now know what is shunyata. It's not just the pregnant one, and and I've known you've talked about the emptiness and the egg shaped, but you know how we sometimes have to just, as I say, stay with the being lostness around that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
today, when you read out the bit, then it clicked with me that the shunyata was sort of connected with this earlier, what can I call it, internal learning through life experience.
Okay.
And even when we're feeling depressed, maybe we need to be depressed at that point in order to come
Yeah.
out. And I think it's very important. I think we don't just think there's something wrong with us if we're lost or confused or don't know what to do, or all these places of not knowingness, as I tend to regard them. It's very healthy to be able to have the courage to stay there and trust
Mm.
the process.
Yeah.
It's trusting the process that's so important.
Yeah. And I think the way you described it as well, Eileen, it was very beautiful. And I think that's you know, sometimes moments in our lives can be devastating, but sometimes there's great beauty as well, you know? You know, you can be going through a really tough time. A moment that I really remember one time when I was living with a friend, there was so much lostness going on, but a friend had really badly injured herself. We'd gone on a trip together and she broke her back, and it was awful, awful, awful time. But um, the hardest part for me was when we came back to normal, because we were away and we came back to Ireland, and we were just so different. We'd gone through so much and in this short space of time, and couldn't relate to, our friendships were just different. People didn't understand what we've been through. And I remember just trying to get on with life and getting a job, but everything had changed, you know? And then one day I had my headphones on. I had a mini disc, not a mini disc player, it was a CD player. Remember them? Like, and it was a cold, and I had moved in with my friend, family for a while to help her while she was recovering. And I got a job, or I can't remember. I was going somewhere. Um, Maybe I was going to college, but it was early in the morning, and I was struggling. Like, I was really struggling in my life at that point. But I was trying to get as quickly to the bus as I could, or the job. I can't remember. And I started running and it was ice, and I slipped, and I just went flying up in the air and slammed down on my back. And it was just, those moments where it's like, what else is gonna, but at that moment, it just allowed me to sort of break and just sit up and cry and just release all of this tension that I was holding. And it's just, there was something about that moment, just like what Mary or what Eileen said, was like really feeling the brokenness in that moment. But there was something really beautiful about that moment as well. I remember seeing the sky.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom, or just there was the sky. And I don't know, I can't explain it, you know? It was one of those moments you can't explain. But can you continue this practice? Yeah, of collecting the moment. Yeah. And you can do it in your own way. Like maybe you're going to collect smiles, like Anne was collecting connection. But just to add a little layer into it this week, can you think about the senses? Right?
Senses.
Senses. Can you, yeah, look, so what things did you see? Yeah. So sometimes you're going for a walk in the park and one of the last leaves, November leaves, comes off the tree and just lands in a puddle and creates a ripple. And it's beautiful, right? Sometimes it's sound. Could be the sound of your grandchild sleeping. It could be devastating weather. You want to go out and it just thunders down and it's just like, oh, just can't go out into that. And maybe you're going to pause and just watch it. Yeah. It could be the smell of scones in the oven. Yeah. Or I teach on Saturday morning in the Crescent Arts Centre and they come out and it's like, oh my God, chocolate brownies and all sorts of lovely things they're cooking, you know. But I love that moment of the smell. Yeah. And again, it doesn't have to be positive, right? It could be difficult. It could be a difficult moment to be intimate with. It could be today I was in just briefly before the class, I was in the city hospital, and you know, there was a man who was walking from the shop towards me, and he was not well. He was just not well, you know, and breathing really deeply, you know, gasping for air. And I found myself wanting, because he was coming to sit beside me, I could find myself wanting to get up and go. I was like, no, be intimate with this moment, you know, be intimate with this man, see him, you know. So, because it's all part of our life. It's all part of our life, and we're not trying to escape anything. Yeah. You hold it all because the heart can hold it all. Yeah. And see the beauty in every part, if we can. Okay. And can you, you know, just record it? I'm thinking of those angels. There's a Zen tradition. We've practiced it before on retreat and workshops, so where we've you just write, you know, man gasping for air sits next to me. Yeah. Just like it's a record it in writing. Now you might not want to record it in writing, you might want to draw it. Okay. So we can do something creative, karma, to record that moment. Yeah. Maybe you want to dance it. I don't know how you would do that, but maybe you want to dance it. Okay. So and I thought we would do the So Hum practice today, but let's get up and shake a little bit. Before we do that, I really have to pee, so I'm going to take my microphone off for a moment. You ever see me going for a pee and the microphone's in? Yeah. So get yourself set up, take the chairs back, and make sure it's whoever. So let's shake and make some sound. Let's shake it out and make some sound. Ooh. So feeling what you're shaking. If there's something that needs to drop off the body, can you come up off your heels and just shake it all out? And if there is a lot going on, sometimes it's good to shake for a little bit longer. Yeah. Sighing out or making sound. Now, just take a moment to shake each one of your limbs and feel it, sense it, shaking right up into the shoulder. Being creative in your movement. Just noticing if your mind comes in to say, do it this way or do it that way. Can you just follow the feeling of what you need? If you're shaking a leg, you might need support. And notice, sense, feel which parts of your body you become aware of now that you're shaking. And can you follow that sensation to another place? Noticing the difference from side to side, if you're shaking on one side, one leg or one arm and to the other. Ooh. Okay, and let's do a little just twist. Unless you were told not to twist, of course, Eileen. Do what you feels right. And then we might stretch up. Take a big stretch up with the hands, fingers together. Did we record again? We are recording, yeah, okay, sorry, just checking. So circling in one direction. Really reaching up. And feeling and sensing into your body, feeling and sensing. Now, take another movement that suits you, your body. And then come back and check in with where you are. How does your body feel now? And just do 3 mindful breaths before you either decide to lie or sit. Feeling and sensing all that is. And then go and lie or sit, your choice. And get warm. Make sure you have enough things to keep you warm. And then sighing out again. Ah. So now begin to feel the weight of your body. If you're sitting, the weight of your pelvis and your thighs, your feet on the ground. And rising up your spine in the opposite direction. Feeling your shoulders relax and head rest. If you're lying down, sensing and feeling through the back body. And we're all getting a sense now of the earth. We talked about the spherical nature of the earth. Full of potential. And here we are resting on the earth. And getting a sense of the space around our bodies, in the landscape, in the ether, the stars, the sun, clouds above us. Take a moment to scan down through the body. So bring our attention to the crown of the head. And relax down through the brain, the eyes, the face. the jaw, the teeth, tongue. Relaxing the throat, the neck. Relaxing your shoulders, your arms and hands. Relaxing the front of your chest, collarbones. Relaxing back. Relaxing all the organs inside your torso. Relaxing belly and hips, pelvic floor. Relaxing down your thighs, knees, your lower legs and feet. And then begin to experience your body breathing. The movement of the body breathing. And sensing and feeling now your nostrils, the breath moving in the nostrils. So on our inhale, we're following the inhale up the nostrils to the very top of the nostrils. And then on the exhalation, following the breath down the nostrils and imagining the air, the breath, the exhale going over the front of your chest, heart area. So you're imagining the inhale up to the top of the nostrils and then getting a sense of the breath coming out down the nostrils and breathing out over the heart. And just following that long inhale, following the long, smooth exhale. And now we can make the sound so, imagine the sound so as you follow the breath up the nostrils. And then imagine the sound hum as you exhale. So hum. If your thinking is very loud, you can turn up the volume of the so in your mind and the hum. If your mind is pretty quiet, then you can turn down the volume almost as if you're listening to the sound of a breeze coming and going. So hum. And if it helps you, you can imagine the breath has a color. And then letting go of the so hum and just following your inhale, following your exhale. Just following your breath. And feeling and sensing your breath now as you move a little. Maybe you're rolling your head from side to side. Feeling your fingers and toes. Maybe stretching out through your fingers and toes. And then relaxing. Inhale, stretching out again, reaching. And then relaxing. And reaching out again and drawing your knees in, those of you lying down. If you're sitting, you might open your eyes. And then rolling onto one side, those of you lying down. And pause for a moment. before making your way up to sit. And then take a moment if you'd like to write something, a reflection. Okay. Anything to share? Okay. You felt minded. Okay, that's calm. Yeah, good.
Particularly deep, relaxing
Mm-hmm.
meditation today. And I felt before you suggested thinking of a color,
Mm-hmm.
I felt bathed in bright sunlight.
Mm.
It was, and I'd been sort of cold when I lay down.
Mm.
It was wonderfully soothing.
Lovely,
Thank you.
lovely. Anything else? Peace and stillness. Peaceful. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's interesting the connection that you feel, you know, I always feel very connected to each one of you when we practice together. Yeah, I really felt that today. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Mary had to pop off early, so she's gone. Um, okay. So continue to be a little collector of moments this week, and using the senses, and we'll report back next week. Okay, I'll stop recording. Thank you.